With the succession wars over, after the death of the previous Shah, Muhammad Qajar now rules Tehran. He is a man who has been born of war and strife, put in the heart of battle to fight against the Russian dogs, and named Gazi for it. The last of his rebellious kin have been caught or defeated, and although there is peace, it is hard to tell. Our cities are in ruin, the north a wasteland from the wars of our enemies, and even Khorasan is beset by rebels seeking independence. It has been 25 days since the news from the palace that Haji Mirza Qazi has been taken into custody. The childhood tutor of Mohammad Shah, he was well known to have been at the heart of his court, even as the crown prince, but was pushed out and executed for his attempt to induct the Shah into Sufi mysticism. At noon yesterday, the Shah held a ceremony in the palace where he formally granted the honor of high office to Mirza Abdul Hassan Khan Ilshi, the new Grand Vizier. It's the third to hold the title in the Shah's short reign, and is expected, if memory serves, not to hold it for long. He is a well-respected diplomat who spent much time in Paris, London, and St. Petersburg. His calls for the modernization of Iran and the creation of closer cooperation with the West clearly were heard by the Shah. There is also a great camp being constructed outside Masad in the east, where a contingent of the Shah's own troops have been spotted alongside the tribal forces of many Khans called into service. It is likely that the Shah plans to make Herat pay for their insults in past years and the support of the rebels in Khorasan. Our once great Shahdom has been laid low by the Russians, who over the last 40 years have taken much land from us in the Caucasus and destroyed any remaining respect the world might have for us. We are now simply a pawn in the great game, an attempt by both Russia and the United Kingdom to outmaneuver each other in the Far East and Central Asia. Yet a pawn always has the chance to become something more. If we tread carefully, perhaps God shall guide us back into glory. This is a roleplay game of Victoria 3. I hope you enjoy. We are going to expand our government a little bit. I am going to add in the armed forces to our government, and we're going to go about reforming into a professional army, because that is something I already did an RP post about. We are going to, during this time period, Iran, its military is really made up of the private forces of the Shah, as well as a collection of khans and governors who have their own troops, mainly tribal troops, which are very inefficient. We're going to be attempting to centralize them into a professional modern military. We were given military advisors by the French in a previous meeting with their government who are going to be helping us modernize the Iranian military. So we'll see how that goes. We were also promised investments and bankrolling, which I'm going to DM him about, actually. The Sikhs are going to war of Kalat. Oh, man. Before we enter onto the side of Kalat, what is the British Foreign Office's opinion on the Sikh invasion of Kalat at this moment?
Oh my god.
Sikh.
France has agreed to this invasion. We have laid out a plan.
Is the British Empire going to back us if we enter on the side of Kalat?
Wait, has the diplomatic play already started?
He just started it, yes.
Sikh, I would appreciate if you were to slow down just a little bit.
Yeah,
I do not wish to get dragged into a war.
Iran, the intervene.
This is not us. Kalat is not us. It is a separate state and one with a Muslim primary population, which we would not like to see the Sikh Empire obviously rule over.
Yeah, we also wouldn't want that.
Having a foreign religion like that oversee Muslims is unacceptable.
The Sikh Empire in the state of Punjab is already majority Muslim, and we rule over them peacefully.
It has been.
I also will say I'm very shocked that the French are going to be exacerbating a violent confrontation in Central Asia, in the Middle East. We had, in our last meeting with the French government, thought that they would take a more even-handed approach in the region. I must say we're very disappointed with this.
I must say I have not accepted this conflict to be fired at this time. I'm more than surprised, as I still had plans of having diplomatic talks with the Iranians and British regarding it.
In that case, the Iranian Shahdom will be preparing for war. We will speak with you soon. All right, a war over somewhere that we did not expect to fight in. I mean, like, I wanted to work with the French and the British, but this is getting out of hand very quickly. So, all right, we're gonna mobilize. So yeah, this is completely unexpected. The Sikh Empire went straight for Kalat, and obviously I didn't want to move this quickly into the British sphere. I wanted us to be more independent here, but we almost have to pick a side here, and it looks like the French and the Sikhs are going to force our hand. Again, I really wanted to play the Westerners off each other, but like we can't. If we don't take a side here with the British, we're going to forever not have a friend in this region, so we don't really have a choice. They stood down. They stood down.
Persian government and the East India governor can join ongoing diplomatic play. That would be appreciated. Well, once as possible. We are.
As agreed upon in the treaty, Iran is going to mobilize and prepare for war. We do expect you to keep your promise and allow us to execute the mayor of Herat.
Of course.
Greetings. This is the ambassador on permanent residence here in Paris to speak with the French government.
Yes.
You called for us?
For this whole misunderstanding in the Indian region. We wish to resolve this as quickly as possible. We thought that the Sikh Empire had resolved this or had talked regarding this with the British already. As to why we are so surprised that you were not aware of this.
I would just like to formally confirm that this invasion was not one perpetrated by the French government. Is this correct?
No. We are more than interested in trading with the Persians and the Sikhs at the same time, as we don't want our relations to be monopolized by a single nation.
Iran also does not wish for a monopoly, which, if we're going to be quite frank, it appears that the British are looking to get out of us, something we would wish to avoid, which is why we would ask again for level-headed diplomacy in the Great Game and in Central Asia and in the Middle East in order to ensure that the nations that could become good trading partners with France are not forced into a specific sphere by chaotic diplomacy.
Yes, of course. For this reason, we are not requesting Persia to join any market, just a mere trade agreement with, of course, the funding.
Our willingness to continue that proposal still stands, just as long as obviously we do get assurances from your government that this sort of thing won't be happening in the future.
Yes, we do also wish to restrain from aggressing against our partners of the Sikh Empire as well.
Thank you for your time, Foreign Minister.
No problem.
Okay, so we are going to be entering into this war. We promised to assist the British in puppeting Afghanistan in exchange for the subjugation and execution of the mayor of Herat, who historically during this time period had basically orchestrated a rebellion alongside the tribesmen in Khiva in Khorasan. So we're getting revenge. It'll also help us work with the British more. When we're done with this, we're planning a foray into Khiva, and we do have the backing of the British on that. So let's hope that goes well. Oh, they stood down. They stood down. Good. Afghanistan just became a puppet of the Afghanis, and we are formally going to be executing the mayor of Herat, as I'm sure he was handed over to us. In that case, we're going to go ahead and start our diplomatic play. Khiva was the other one who did perpetrate a revolution in Khorasan against us, so we are going to be subjugating the tribesmen there. Obviously, the Russians will be pretty upset about this. We may get an ambassador from them very quickly, but we do have the backing of Europe in this. All right, so our only general is actually our Shah. He's a military man. Mohammad Shah Qajar, he actually fought the Russians. He was a commander against the Russians. Obviously, he lost quite badly alongside all of Iran, given that our military is just so, in many ways, backwards compared to Russia in the West. So he's actually going to be our general. He will be leading troops himself. Hello, who am I speaking with?
The Tsar of Russia. Red delegate.
Welcome, Ambassador, to Tehran. What can I do for you?
Well, Khiva does concern us very much.
I can imagine. It likewise very much concerns us, given their actions recently in the province of Khorasan.
We were waiting for the British to start the negotiations and mediations between us, but seeing as they were not going to do it.
We are happy to discuss things with Russia, though.
We are willing to split. Are you willing to split the Khanate of Khiva?
The Khanate? Most certainly not. You already, I believe, have large claims and are planning the colonization of the Kazakh region, which we will, of course, not contend. But Khiva itself, given that it is historically Iranian.
Yes, your presence was requested considering that this matter is of importance to the East India Company. I would assume that the East India Company wanted to be on this discussion.
Yes, sure. We would want to know of stuff that is happening within our borders or of our zones of interest. Yeah.
Getting on to the point at hand, this was a meeting I believe asked for by the Russians. Am I mistaken?
No, this was asked by the Russians some time ago. Yes, about this Central Asia. We understand. We understand about the current situation with the Persians. We fully understand that. We respect Iran's decision. However, the British stance on Bukhara and Kokand do not sit well with the Russian delegate, as we see no use for these buffer states. And we are also part of the defensive doctrine in Europe regarding the balance of power.
Of course. And we understand that the Russian Empire doesn't want bad relations with the British either. We believe that having these Central Asian states as buffer zones between the two great empires is what benefits most each other. There are no tensions, there are no problems. We don't want any nation to become too strong in Central Asia.
Regardless, we respect the decision about Kokand. We can't allow that as a buffer state, but Bukhara is going to be a vital province of the Russian Empire, as we see it.
You already have no claim upon the Kazakh region, besides that you take it by force. As far as Iran sees it, you have no leg to stand on in making demands regarding Bukhara. Especially given it is becoming very clear that the Russian Empire's, as you call, Russification policies and genocide is the state of annexation. It would be a danger for the people of Bukhara, many devout Muslims, to go under the rule of the Russians when you have shown in the Caucasus you do nothing to protect their rights, but rather simply slaughter them and force them out of your country.
No, there's no need to get aggressive. There's no need to make accusations.
We have modified our demands, if you will, out of this meeting, which is the final demands. We will not try to push for anything more, which is the Kazakhs in Bukhara, with guaranteed religious rights in Bukhara. Caucaland remains as a buffer state between the actual East India
Iran
Company
could not accept Bukhara becoming a annexed state of Russification.
Really?
And for the Russians just to annex the Kazakhs and the Uzbekistan of Bukhara, sorry.
You are going to accept them annexing Bukhara?
Yes, so we will accept that. We
would like to remind the British ambassador, but when we spoke with your foreign minister in London, you made it clear that you would not be letting this happen. Is the British government planning to change that perspective?
Don't want problems with Russia. We believe that they're trying to be very diplomatic on this matter, and I believe that we believe this is acceptable.
I would say one last time two things. First off, I hope the British understand they are giving not only the Russians access to opium fields in Bukhara, they also will allow further persecution of Muslim ethnic groups in the region, and in addition, you are breaking an unofficial agreement that you did make with the Iranian delegation. I'd just like you to confirm all that.
I will confirm that we are breaking an agreement with the Iranian delegation. What would be a solution? Or that the Iranians
Iran would propose and be acceptable to Bukhara being an entirely independent state alongside Kokand, in that no one, the British, the Iranians, nor the Russians would have any dominion over them, and they would act as entirely independent states, separate from all three of us.
For the time being, yes, we will accept the offer.
Good for the British Empire, for the Persian, for the state of Iran, for the Russian Empire as well. So thank you all for your time.
Thank you for your time. what has been agreed upon is we are going to keep Kiev as a puppet, and Bukhara and Kokin will be independent as a buffer state. They're going to annex the Cossacks. If you obviously heard it there, they said for now. So in the future, I suspect the Russians will make a play for Bukhara, Kokin. We failed to modernize our military. That was a failed attempt that the government did not pass. We're now attempting to pass religious schools in order to institute a level of education, which is very needed because many of the governmental jobs that we need right now, we just don't have the people for. So we'll see if we can get religious schools passed. When we're done with that, we're going to probably take another shot at a modernized professional military. So we'll see if we can pull that off. We do currently have trade deals with both the British and the French, and we're getting subsidized by the French for investments, which is very useful. We do have a bit of a balance of power again going on in the region as well. So things are looking pretty good for us. In terms of industry, I'm trying to build up tool factories, iron mines in order to get the industrial sector kickstarted. And then we're going to probably work on getting a lot of our cities modernized with street lamps. So we're going to build some coal mines and see if we can get gas street lights across greater Iran. We'll need to obviously build a coal mine for that, which we'll go ahead and get started right now. When that's done, we'll be able to light all of our cities, which will be quite nice since we are attempting to modernize. Mohammad Shah did try modernize to a degree. He wasn't the greatest modernizer, but he also wasn't incompetent. Very complicated man in many ways. If we retain our own independent market, we'll spend most of the game lacking a lot of what we need. I've thought about trying to get us to join someone's market, British or the French later down the line, but in the beginning, we got to retain our independence and stay that way. Because if we don't, we're just going to get incorporated into a sphere, and we want to try and make it clear that we're independent. What are our leaders' traits? Mohammad Shah Gajar, or Mohammad Shah, he is imperious. Characters known to the arrogant and domineering nature. That's fine, we can do that, that's fun. He's an explorer. He enjoys finding new places, successfully completed an expedition, and he's an open terrain commander, which I guess we got when he was on the front with Kiev or something, because he hasn't fought a war since the War of Russia. He's actually our commander. He's our only commander right now. He's part of the landowners. He's a traditionalist, which is not surprising. Persian, of course. He's not very popular, being imperious. He's 30 years old. He's quite young. We also have some good, what's they called, group traits here. Let's go through those. We've got veteran consultation that reduces military tech costs. We've got middle managers that gives us more bureaucracy. We've got family ties that gives us influence. We've got divine right that gives us authority. And we've got be fruitful and multiply, which gives us birth rate. We're actually well ranked by all of our groups right now, besides the rural folk. Regular people don't like us, but besides them, everyone likes us, which is what matters. So we also do have an heir. He's already an imperious demagogue at the age of 7. You can see it in his eyes. Look at that. You can see the demagogue deep inside of him. We might want to start looking towards exports at that point, to be honest. We do have a trade treaty with both the British and the French, so that would be worth looking into. We do need a lot more clothes factories and food, though. We actually need a lot more food, so we have a lot more of these just regular things we need to work on here. Let's take a look at our demographics. I haven't looked at this very closely. Mostly peasants. We have some laborers. We do still have slavery. We do still have that. I don't think we'll be able to get rid of it. The landowners will literally rebel if we try. So we have a lot of aristocrats. We have a lot of clergy, shopkeepers in terms of political power. So the aristocrats just dominate the country, and the clergy do, of course, as well. Culturally, mostly Persian. We've got Azerbaijani. We've got Kurdish. We've got Baluchi too, I think. Yeah, Baluchi. In terms of both this time period in modern Persia, the Kurds obviously over here, primarily Persians in the north. We've got a lot of Arabic culture in the south along the southern coastline. We've got Baluchi over here. All right, here we go. We're about to get atmospheric engine, and then we'll be able to extract. Yes, wonderful. The atmospheric engine is the first steam engine that has an actual practical application. Funny story, you know, I was watching a lecture series this week, and it was talking about some like misconceptions about the historical world. I won't rant about it, but one of the interesting things that he mentioned that I never knew was the Library of Alexandria is a research institute, not a library, which I never knew. But he mentioned that someone had invented a really early steam engine at the Library of Alexandria, and I looked it up and it was true. It didn't have any practical applications because it was so early, but during the time of the Library of Alexandria, someone actually invented a steam engine, which blew my fucking mind. All right, anyway, let's work on the lathe. Yeah, we have one more iron mine we're about to finish. Then we'll get the other coal mine, and then we should be pretty good industrially right now, which is what we want. It's a dye plantation, which we want. We want a lot of dye plantations. If we can build enough of these, this can actually become one of our main export goods is dyes. They become very valuable in Europe over time as the demand for them really just increases. So It has been revealed that Hamza Farani of the Shia ulama has been having a secret affair with a member of the clergy. His resignation is being demanded. Obviously, we're very religious, so we're going to ask him to step down. Frustrated with a lengthy legal process surrounding religious schools, Hossein Bakanov of the Shia ulama has approached us with an offer to expedite the process, utilizing his personal connections within the state apparatus. Fine by me. Oh, is this an ambassador from who?
Prussia.
Ah. Greetings. I am the Grand Vizier to Mohammad Shah. Welcome to Tehran. What can I do for you?
It's great that you have personally time for me instead of this meet me in person and not. Well, I came to speak to you about this. How should I say? I heard that there's a plant that produces a drug called opium.
There is a large quantity of it, and the many in Europe are certainly fans of it, shall we say?
Oh yes. And I came here to personally try it. And,
a man who enjoys opium.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
well, in that case, I'm sure the Shah himself would wish to speak with you, as he is currently, shall we say, in his private chambers, enjoying it himself. If you would like to follow me.
Of course.
You get led deep into the palace, and there you find the Shah of Iran, enjoying the opium as well. Welcome.
Yes.
What brings you here? A man of good taste, I see.
Yes, well, the matter of opium brings me here, Shah.
A matter I know very well, indeed.
Yes, to about maybe exporting it to Prussia.
Report you back to Cusco.
He's clearly just zoned out and not listening anymore.
Shah, listen to me.
What? Who? Yes. Opium.
Sorry.
Yes, of course. Well, you're welcome to try some. Here you go.
Thank you.
It's very strong, though.
Let me take a drip. Quick, 1 second. Oh, that's wonderful. That's good stuff. Shah, are you listening?
What?
Shah, I just
Yes. Yes. It's wonderful. It's the way I relax these days. You know, when I first took my current position, I had many matters to attend to, but the Grand Vizier, he's been nice enough to deal with many of them, and I get to enjoy the more enjoyable things in life. You said something about a deal for opium, I believe.
Yes, after trying it myself, I think it would be beneficial for us to maybe enter a trade agreement between our nations.
You wish us to sell opium to the Austrians, so we'd be happy to sell it to you.
To the Persians.
The who?
To the Prussians. I'm sorry, the opium cloud judgment, it seems.
Right. Yes. We'd be happy to sell opium to the Dutch. We'd be more than willing to do so.
No, to the Prussians. Prussians, Shah. Prussia.
We could do that as well. We could sell to both of them.
No, only to Prussia.
An exclusive deal.
Yes.
Yes, we could do that.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
That's where I picked the habit up myself. Took a. Why were you here again, though?
I'm here to make a deal with you for you to exclusively export opium to Prussia.
We could do that. Absolutely, we could do that.
In the middle of Europe.
Of course.
Yes.
This matter is more for my Grand Vizier. He takes care of these matters. I tried to keep myself away from this. Now that you've tried it, perhaps you should go speak with him.
Yes, I will.
You're led back out of the room, and the Grand Vizier is just waiting there. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed the Shah. He's a good man, just a little busy today. What were you speaking about?
Why am I here again?
Sorry?
Hello? Why am I here again? I feel a little bit clouded. Yes, exports, yes. Yeah, we were here. I'm here to get opium to Prussia. and the Shah did say you are more the man to speak to.
We have many fields of opium that could be grown and produced and exported, but you understand that Iran is not a rich state, and to develop it would take much expansion of our infrastructure. Is this something that Prussia is willing to assist with?
Of course, if we can benefit from it, of course.
If you would like to subsidize the construction of opium fields, we'd be happy to exclusively export that to Prussian markets.
We would be happy to do that, of course.
And in that case, I am going to begin construction of the northern opium fields of Iran. And just let us know when you wish to undergo that.
Of course. Of course. I thank you for the talks. It was...
Of course. Ambassador, do you need someone to guide you out? You look a little hazy.
Yeah. I'm a little bit shaky.
Yeah, I understand. I don't partake in this stuff myself. I'll have someone see you out, Ambassador.
Can I get some opium though for my trip back?
Of course, complimentary of the state of Iran. We'd be happy to provide you some for your journey home. Well, the Prussians want to buy opium off of us, and we're happy to provide. So I guess we're going to build up our opium industry and export it all to Prussia. There it is. We need more ports. We need more iron. All right, let me figure this out. We got to move a little bit more to a trade economy. We'll go for cargo ports, which will create a demand for clippers that... Are we meeting that? Probably not. Let's see what's happening with opium. Yeah, it's slowly going up. It's expected to remain at the second level during for current conditions. We are now making a profit on it. Demand for opium is going up in Prussia. We are going to need clippers, which means we can modernize our fishing industry in the southern coast. We'll build one in Laristan, which has an increased output for it. It's up to level 4 already. Look at that. The profit on it is just going up and up and up because we're literally creating demand within Prussia. We're actually just creating the demand for this product as we export it to them. That's so cool how they do that. We're literally just getting Upper Germans addicted to opium. This is what this is right now. Yeah, we're moving up. We're right by Mexico. That's not bad. Almost done with our shipyards. We'll use that obviously for fishing. We'll use it for exports of convoys and shipping obviously to Europe. And that will also give us a chance to potentially build up a little bit of a navy too in the future, which would be very nice. Greetings to the leader of the East India Company. This is an envoy from Persia. We are conducting our engagement with Oman, wherein we will be transferring you the True Seal States. Are you ready to enter into that war with us? All right, and you entered the play. Perfect.
What is interesting is Jackson got a third term in this one.
Yeah.
Did he really?
Yeah, look, Jackson's still
Oh my god, he did.
Look at my leader. Look what happened. It's kind of funny with the RP we did beforehand. With the
Opium addict, he got it.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
god.
yeah.
He actually got it.
You got opium addict?
Yeah.
I've been exporting opium to Prussia, and the Kaiser got addicted to opium in the game. He's got actual opium addicts. Yeah. You're gonna have to do a naval invasion, by the way, EIC. Just heads up.
I will.
All right, there you go. Oh no. How's your offense this low? Do you have military equipment?
Yeah, I should do. Why is that low?
You've got a never landing in the south. That's getting pushed back too. The hell is insufficient naval invasion support?
Oh, I need to probably fix
No,
that.
you just don't have any military supplies. You don't have ammunition. You don't have small arms. You don't have artillery. You're really missing ammunition. That's the issue. I think the game's done for the day though. Oh damn it! This one's a really fun one. God damn.